Hey there, I have Sierra Nevada's Northern Hemisphere Harvest. So this is their wet hop beer. They call it the original wet hop IPA. Maybe it was at least the first commercial example. I'm sure people have been throwing undried hops in beer forever. So wet hop beer is when they pick the hops, and then usually within 24 hours from the farm, throw it in the beer. All their hops are dried and turned into some other kind of product because they'll go bad really fast. So these are the ones that are just right off the vine. And I realized last year what all these beers have in common to me is this watermelon note. It's kind of like a chlorophyll-y, like green note, but like it's very melony, which is kind of unique. And this one, I feel like I don't see it as much as I used to, especially I guess being out in New England. And it's a little over a month old, and I just saw it today. Yeah, usually when I do see it, it's like 2 months old. I wish I could have gotten it fresher, but whatever. I think this may have almost froze a little bit. I put it in the freezer because it was. Looks like it's not flat though. Looks good. It's gonna be a little cold though. I'll have to try to warm it up. And what I kind of don't like is that they make it so damn dark. They make it. I wonder if it's the same basic recipe as their Celebration. Celebration is what they make it confusing. They call it a fresh hop IPA. So that is just this fall's harvest of hops, but dried, just the freshly dried hops. This one uses the wet hops. That's the difference. It's 6.7% alcohol, and it just uses wet Centennial hops and caramel malts, two-row, and Pilsner malts. Interesting they use Pilsner in there because, like, look at the color on that. There's definitely a good amount of caramel. Caramel, otherwise known as like crystal malts, sort of the same thing. I guess on their website they call it caramelized malts. And yeah, I mean, this is what IPAs looked like 20 years ago, a lot of them. But I feel like to get the subtleties and nuances of the wet hops, don't use that much caramel malt, but whatever. Head looks pretty nice. And it smells like red berries. It's like not really caramel as much as sweet berries, but sort of like cooked, sort of like a fruit soup of dried fruits and berries. Not very toasty. And there is some of that sort of watermelon-y type thing in this, but it's definitely pushing it towards red berries rather than like juicy melon citrus. But yeah, I feel like I mean this beer is really cold, but I feel like it's kind of the malts are kind of covering it up. But Sierra Nevada probably wants to kind of continue the tradition they've been doing of this and like Celebration, and not changing the recipe or making it pale or hazy. Updating it to the trends. They want to keep it like the OG, I guess. And there's definitely some unique stuff in there. Just like green, but not green in like a dank vegetal way, more in like a fresh chlorophyll-y way. It doesn't smell, dank. It doesn't smell like it's gonna be bitter and spicy that much. Like it doesn't have the big pine that you normally get from Centennial. It's quite soft. There's some more toastiness on the palate for sure. Sweet, nice soft mouthfeel. That's just the good quality Sierra Nevada beer. Maybe a little, maybe there's some bitterness and some pine coming in there. I guess it'd be interesting to try this like next to their Celebration Ale, even though by the time Celebration Ale comes out, this will be like not as fresh. But but just to see what is different. I do think I noticed some watermelon notes, some more just floral. A lot of people might just say it has like a unique, fresh floral quality to it that's different from the normal floral quality you get in hops. But maybe one year, or they could just do a variant on this. Like, don't say they're going to change the recipe of their harvest. Just make a pale one, or call it something different, or do this and then half the batch do something else. I don't know. I guess Sierra Nevada does like to kind of stick with a lot of their traditions. They haven't changed their regular Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. It's still can and bottle conditioned. So I guess I understand that. But they probably have to spend a good amount of money on this. And it was $15, which is kind of expensive for a Sierra Nevada 6-pack. But it's just not as special as it could be, I guess. It's really good though. Very clean. Now I'm getting a little bit more of that sappy Centennial bitterness. But I like that it's not super bitter. But that's in part because you can't, like, even if you use a huge amount of wet hops, it's still, a lot of that is going to be water. So it's harder to, I think, get a super bitter beer. With dried hops or hop pellets, you're getting a lot of the alpha acids and the active ingredients that make the beer really hoppy and bitter and in your face. So with this, it's you're not getting as much of that. And yeah, really nicely made beer. Really a great head. Good carbonation, not too carb though. Lots of tiny bubbles, so it's like a silky mouthfeel. And it's definitely less bitter, a little bit more delicate than Celebration Ale, and definitely less bitter than like Torpedo. And just the wet hop Centennial by themselves add a lot of hop complexity. Though one last time, it's a little bit clamped down and made a little too subtle by all the caramel malts. But it's a great beer. I'm glad that I found it on the shelves. I wasn't expecting it. Just saw it at my grocery store. And then, despite the color, I am enjoying it more than I thought I would. Very nicely made beer. 4.38. Bye.